We all hit a wall eventually, a moment where the stress, the grief, or the sheer weight of a crisis becomes so intense that our normal coping mechanisms fail. The standard prayers and daily routines that usually sustain us cannot seem to cut through the panic. In the Hindu tradition, millions recite the Hanuman Chalisa every day to build long-term spiritual strength. If the Chalisa is a daily vitamin, the Sankatmochan Hanumanashtak is the emergency defibrillator. Ashtak refers to the 8 verses that comprise this text. It is a highly specialized crisis intervention tool designed specifically to address acute distress. Understanding this hymn requires looking past its religious surface to examine how its history and structure work together to ground the mind. The origin of this text begins in 16th century Varanasi. During the height of the Bhakti movement, the poet Saint Tulsidas delivered public lectures in the forests surrounding the city, translating complex spiritual concepts for the common populace. Tulsidas began noticing a mysterious, diseased-looking man lingering at the very edge of his audience. The man remained silent throughout the sessions and always departed into the woods just before the conclusion. Suspecting a divine presence, Tulsidas followed the figure one evening and grasped his feet, refusing to let go until the man revealed his true identity as Lord Hanuman. This direct encounter provided Tulsidas with the blueprint for the Ashtaka. It emerged as a divinely sanctioned method for communicating with the remover of troubles in the middle of a crisis. The hymn utilizes a specific Sanskrit meter known as the Mata Gayand. Mata Gayand translates to the rhythm of an intoxicated elephant. It is a heavy, unstoppable cadence. When the mind is racing, reciting this specific meter acts as an anchor, physically forcing the heart rate and breath to synchronize with a massive, rolling waveform. This is reinforced by the structure of the refrain. Each of the 8 verses ends with the exact same rhetorical question. Who in this world does not know, O monkey, that your name is Sankatmochan? The combination of this heavy meter and the hypnotic refrain systematically dismantles fear, replacing panic with a sense of rhythmic certainty. The internal logic of the verses relies on a specific mythological premise. In his youth, Hanuman was cursed to forget his own immense powers until someone actively reminded him of what he was capable of doing. The Ashtak serves as a trigger mechanism, an 8-verse resume engineered to remind the deity of his past victories over impossible odds. Verses 3 and 4 recount Hanuman resolving extreme mental anguish. They describe him leaping across an ocean to find Sita in enemy territory, curing her despair by presenting a token of hope from Lord Rama. Verse 5 describes an intervention in a terminal medical emergency. When Lakshmana was wounded in battle, Hanuman ensured his survival by transporting an entire mountain of medicinal herbs across the continent before sunrise. In verse 7, the narrative moves to the netherworld, Patal Lok. Here, Hanuman rescues his lords from the king of the underworld, symbolizing a victory over the deepest subconscious traumas. By systematically recounting these specific, extreme domains of suffering, the text presents the brain with evidence that no crisis is beyond repair. In the 8th verse, the narrative pivot occurs. The text shifts from recounting third-person mythological epics to a direct first-person plea. The devotee poses a rhetorical question. If you solved the impossible problems of the gods, what crisis of this humble person is so great that it cannot be removed by you? To maximize the effect during a crisis, a 21-day ritual called an anushtana is often undertaken. This involves a strict diet, a vow of strict celibacy, and daily offerings of jasmine oil to maintain a high spiritual frequency. This process functions as exposure therapy. It forces a panicked mind to fixate on a being who has already conquered every imaginable type of fear. This moves the individual out of a state of paralyzed learned helplessness and into a state of proactive faith. The Ashtak provides more than a plea for help. It alters the reciter's perception of their own situation. Instead, it hardens a fragile body of clay into an indestructible Vajra, a thunderbolt capable of withstanding any storm.